Thank you for joining us for this guest episode of Chatting in the Void, hosted by Cthulhu Tilly and guest starring Indextore, a small-time streamer. We're technically in an episode right now.
Oh,
welcome
dear
to
God.
episode 8 of Chatting in the Void, our first guest podcast with Index,
Hi.
who is somebody who wants to start streaming. I've known Index for a very long time.
Too long.
Super awesome.
Too long.
Yeah, too long. We know too much about each other, and this is going to be embarrassing.
Oh, that's going to be the best, though. Embarrassing each
great.
other.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm pretty happy for it.
I'm excited.
So we're going to start off with telling the story of how we met, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Because it shows off how dense I am.
Oh, God, you're so fucking dense.
It shows off our relationship to some degree, our friendship.
Okay.
Which is
nuts,
so
should I start with, like, how I came to be in, like, the hemisphere who knows that you were in?
Yes.
And okay.
Yes.
Okay. So Tilly and I should start off with back a really long ass time ago, I was online, like the chatting app. I think it's Korean, but I can't remember. And somehow I managed to find a group of people on there, and I was hanging out with them. And one of my friends was like, "Oh, you should join Discord." And like at that point, I had no idea what Discord was. This was like back in 2016. Yes, I actually do have red hair. It's different than this though. So
it's like a highlight.
Yeah, so my friend Anthony was like, "Yeah, you should join Discord. I'll add you to this big server." And I'm like, "Oh, neat. Okay." And so he adds me to the server, and it's like 100 some odd people, and I'm like, this is so different from Line, because we only had like, I want to say like 10 people in like the group. It was insane. And then that's how I met Tilly, and oh my God. Tilly was interesting.
I was.
I can't remember how we started talking, but we did. And the best way to describe what was going on is that Tilly is very dense when it comes to girls. And so
that is
there were
150%
me
true.
and like 2 people who I called friends at the time. I'm still friends with them. Hi, Acro, if you ever see this. But I was fairly certain Acro had a crush, but it was me and a girl at the time named Kitty that had a crush on Tilly, and Kitty was polyamorous and shot her shot and was turned down for numerous amount of reasons. And then you had me, who just was like, "Yeah, I'll be here. I'll give him my phone number, see if he does anything with it," but never like act on it. And then I didn't. And so, what is it, like 8 to 10 years? No, 2016. So that would be 6.
Yeah.
That's 6 years. Yeah,
6 years ago.
6 years later, we're still friends. But that's about it. Just friends.
It's true. It's funny. We also had like a long lull in the middle here where we were friends.
I'm so
and
sorry.
If somebody were to have asked me, "Hey, is Indextore your friend?" I would have been like, "Yeah, Indextore is great." But we didn't talk at all.
I think
we had no interaction.
I think we went like 2 to 3 years without talking. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at messaging people.
It's fine. It is what it is. So then we ended up hanging out again, and starting to talk again. But in my side of the story, first of all, having a married woman shoot their shot on you is intensely uncomfortable.
Oh, I totally forgot to mention that she was married. Oh dear.
Yeah. So one of these girls that liked me, the first one to make a move, and I technically the only one to really make a move.
Not true. Acro did.
It's polyamorous and also married at the time, like had a husband. And I was like, no, thank you. That's kind of, ooh, okay. I don't think I'm interested in that at all.
No touchy.
I'm gonna get the shit kicked out of me someday. And so I opted to shoot her down. Now, apparently your mic is super quiet.
Oh no!
Let me
I'm so sorry.
see if I can fix that. You're good. Okay.
Did someone say that?
Is that better? Yeah. Hallik told me in DMs. So.
Oh.
Hi,
Hallik.
Is that better, everybody? Sam, go ahead and say something.
Hi. I. Not Sam.
So yeah. Index.
Whatever. We'll just go by Sam. It's fine.
Okay.
Oops.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I'll try not to dox you. I can edit it out in post. Why are you getting sold out? You're getting sold out because you DM'd me.
Yeah, no, Hallik, I appreciate you letting us know.
It's credit.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's credit.
Is my quality bad? Oh dear.
Is it better now? Is it higher? Is it louder? At least can you hear it now?
I don't know. Someone said mic quality, yes, and I'm worried that means my quality's bad.
I don't think so. I think it means it's fine. Anyways,
okay.
So this married woman flirts with me, and I say no, right? When she was like, hey, I like you. Literally, I think she was more than that. She literally just came out one day and was like, Tilly, I love you. And I was like, that's a big word. And I don't know. That's not a thing.
Also, weren't you like 20 at the time? And like she was like 26 or something?
No, she was younger than me.
What?
She's younger than me.
And she was married?
So I'm 25 now. She's like 23. So she's like 2 years younger than me. So I was 20. She was 18 and married. And I was just like, no, it's crazy. And so I was just uncomfortable with it. And
Pizza, do not slander Lady Coco. How dare?
That's true. Don't slander. Lady Coco is a god, and we stand Lady Coco.
She is a goddess among men. How dare?
Yeah, this is simp for Lady Coco time.
Yes, sorry.
Anyways, no, you're good. So I was like, no way. But I didn't want to break up the friend group because I was really close friends with Index and Kitty and Acro. And so I was like, let's just stay friends. That seems like that's a more sustainable thing for me. And so I stayed friends with all of them, and they're still some of my, or at least Acro and Index are some of my closest friends. And Kitty and I haven't talked in a long time because there's a whole other story there that's wild, but I don't feel like I can talk about that on stream or on podcast.
No, I don't think so. I think that's all.
I feel like it's a little too personal for me and Kitty. But essentially, I got into that Discord group because there were a bunch of people in the Discord group who are webcomic creators. So it's funny because I always tie Index back to Pastic, which is like a webcomic community.
I still don't know what that is.
And she never touched Tapastic.
No,
Index was never on Tapastic. So it's a weird thing to me because everybody I knew in that server was from Tapastic, including the owner of the server, who was the one who brought me into the server, whose name is Chaco. Who we do not know if Chaco has a crush on me or not, or had a crush on me.
I'm fairly certain. Sure. I'm fairly certain that she did because she talked about it, I think, once, and I'm like, yeah, okay, you do you, boo.
Choco Latte was a crazy person who conflicted with me all the fucking time because she was just hard to get along with. One of those people who was just like, oh my gosh. I can't describe it other than just like she constantly manipulated people and constantly got in these situations where people where she was like trying to stir up drama essentially. And then I was a mod in the server. So like she trusted me enough to make me a moderator in her server. But I was the one where the reason why we conflicted is because whenever there was crazy stuff going on, I was the person who was always like, Chaco, we need to not do this. This is fucking stupid. You need to calm down. And then like eventually one day everything went wild and like there was some crazy stuff that happened, and I had like talked with Chaco about like, hey, you need to stop creating drama. You need to stop like getting involved with these people who are going to try and tear apart your community. And like, you need to start being friends with people and being nice to people and not trying to manipulate people. And then she absolutely just like started trashing me in the server, and I was like, I'm done. So I just left the server. I flat out left the server, and apparently Index and Acro like kind of vouched for me a little bit.
A little bit?
Also, like, I didn't want them to really.
A little
I just
bit?
wanted to make sure that there was nothing, because like apparently, well, I don't know. I
So
wasn't
much,
there.
so
I was
much.
told that Choco was like, Tilly has a crush on me and he's mad because I don't reciprocate.
Oh my
which is
god!
really the
Yes!
other way around.
Yes, that was another thing.
But I didn't even know that she had a crush on me. I just didn't reciprocate. We never talked about it. So in this reality, it's really funny to me, because now that I am older, I look back at the time and I'm like, yeah, okay. So now all of these girls have told me that they liked me at the time. I had no fucking idea. I still don't like, and that's the problem, is like, I know for a fact I'm dense enough now that if somebody liked me now, I probably wouldn't know either. I probably would be dense about it.
You're like most
Because I
guys,
just-
honestly.
I'm not a player. I'm the opposite of a player. I could be a player, except I can't be a player because I'm too dense to be a player.
Oh my god.
Because I never actually play. I just fail.
Well, you also have a tendency to stick your dick in crazy, and that doesn't help your case.
That is true.
But you know,
That is true. That is
whoops.
accurate. That is accurate.
we can get into past relationships I've had, because that's a fun conversation.
Yeah.
But you know. Listen, I say
Never
that
stick your-
all the
just
time.
Never stick your dick in crazy. Yeah, you know, and
No, I say
try to
dick.
take that to heart, but
Sorry.
I'm bad about it. I'm bad with crazy. I'm trying to get better at it, but my last relationship was heavy evidence that I have not gotten better about it.
I mean, you. Never mind. I'll keep my mouth shut on that one. You know, just in case.
It's fine.
Just in case.
It's fine. Well, if she watches it, that's okay. She'll get mad at me, and I'm okay with that.
If she gets mad, then she needs to go shut the fuck up. If you're watching this,
kind of
bitch, you
agree.
know who you are. And I'm not coming for your man, because he's not your man, and I have one, and it's not him.
Yeah. Unlike me, Sam is not in the dating market. I very much am.
I'm sorry to
very
go and break
lonely.
hearts, but no, I've been in a happy relationship for almost 5 years now.
Yeah, and Kyle is fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He's great.
He's great.
He's the bomb.
Kyle, if you see this, hi Green Bean.
Yeah, he's great.
Hi Jet. Yes.
So anyways, I think the way that we started talking in this server is probably I just started talking to you. I just did that a lot back then, of like,
Yeah.
I was lonely and sad, and when I was lonely and sad, I just started talking to people. And that is how I met everyone back then, was I just started talking. It's true. I do have my hairpin to keep me company.
And his
I
left
just started
hand.
talking to strangers on the internet to fill the lack of socialization that I had, because when I was in college, pretty much the only people I talked to were like Spark and like a couple other people. I had zero friends because I was a shut-in, and also like working full-time while going to college, which doesn't give me a whole lot of leeway to be, you know, a social butterfly like I am now. Going to things like rollerblading and rock climbing, which is great.
It goes to
But
rule
yeah,
the
so
world.
it was pretty funny to meet somebody who I didn't know. Like at the time, I wasn't thinking like, I'm here to make friends that I'm going to have for like 5 years. And yet I made a bunch of friends that I had for 5 years, and got involved in relationships that were complicated and messy. And I'm surprised that the people who have had the patience with me to stick around have actually had that, because my God, it's been a rough go, and I'm sure Index can vouch for that. That I've been
just a
bag of beans for most of my life. I've been 10 pounds of crazy in a 5-pound sack, and it's spilling out everywhere, all over everybody else. And then I got therapy.
Therapy does a wonderful thing, honestly.
It's really good.
Great.
I highly recommend it.
If you're not in therapy, you honestly should be, because I am a strong believer that everybody needs therapy.
If you're not in therapy, you should be in therapy. It'll make you better, believe me. Anyways, so I left the server, but somehow stayed friends with Index. And then Index made a couple of other servers that we were active for short periods of time.
Yep.
And then died. And then we stopped talking for like 3 years.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years. I mean, we talked on and off, like every once in a while. Like,
yeah,
I would wish you a happy birthday on your birthday.
Yeah.
And that would be about it.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah. And like I would randomly text you like, "Hey, how you doing? What's up?" Like, things good?
Yeah. And I always meant to like expand that conversation, but you know, I'm really bad at texting people.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah, and I'm good with conversations, but as a general rule, if I'm not given a lot to work with, if I don't have like somebody to go back and forth with, eventually the conversation dies, because I'm like, I have better things to do than try to talk to myself for 9 hours. And that's not on you. That's just how it was. It's not a problem. It's just we were both busy and stressed and going through a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then what was it? It was last year, right? What did I message you or did you message me?
I think it was a little bit of both.
I can't remember,
because it was in between.
I could probably go back in our Discord DMs.
Yeah,
but
it's not worth the effort. It was. I think I like messaged you. It was like sometime in between my birthday and your birthday, and I'm like, hey, no, we haven't talked in a while, but you're part of my family. Do you want to join my Discord server with the rest of my friend family? And I just sent him a link. And then, like, a couple weeks later, I sent him out a birthday gift. Yes.
Yeah, you sent me a birthday gift. And I think I sent you a Christmas gift, right?
Yes, you sent me the knife. Oh, I love that so much.
I did. That's right. So one of the things that Index and I have bonded on over the years is cooking. Both of us love cooking, and she didn't have a nice cooking knife, and I think that's a tragedy, because everyone who likes to cook deserves at least one really nice high quality cooking knife. So I found a really nice Japanese style cooking knife, and that was my Christmas gift to her.
And I just gave him a quilt.
This is perfect.
I just gave him a blanket.
It's true. It's super comfy though. It's a great quilt. Don't. It's wonderful. I use it all the time. I'm not even joking.
Really?
It's like basically, I use it pretty much every day. It's my reading and listening to audiobook blanket. Yes. I just sit there in in my chair, in my comfy chair, and listen or read.
Oh, that's so good. I'm so happy to hear that.
But yeah. You also own a Japanese cooking knife. But yes. I could cook back then. Yeah, that was part of it.
The reason why people crush on Tilly is because he's cute and shy, and that's.
Oh my God.
Yes. Oh God.
They shouldn't.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Thanks. Yeah, that's why people crush on Tilly. Because he's cute and shy.
They shouldn't. But I do know how to cook. And shut up, Jets. You're a Tilly simp too. Uh-oh. She stopped moving.
No, again.
I can fix that. Nope.
Oh.
Okay, there we go. All right, we're back.
Am I?
Should be fixed. Okay. It should be good now.
It's because I sneezed. I broke.
Jet, you're one of my simps too. You're here.
Okay, let's do it till you Did I get it?
Anyways,
Did I get it? Hopefully I got it.
I don't know why, but I can cook. I was taught to cook by somebody who went to culinary school.
Lucky ducky.
Yeah, it was really fun. I learned a lot of really great skills from him. He's a wonderful man. His sister-in-law is not a wonderful person. And that's who I was dating at the time, which is why I got in contact with him. He's really awesome. Sure, he'll never see this podcast, but shout out to him. He knows who he is. If he ever sees this, thank you for teaching me how to cook. It is a wonderful skill to have. Regardless, so we reconnected after like many years of only lightly talking, and now I have plans to go hang out with Index.
I'm so excited.
Like in 3 months.
Not even. It's like a month and a half.
2.5 months. It's like a month and a half. Yeah, that's true. The 6/29, so 2 months, almost exactly 2 months from today. Actually, ironically enough, I'm gonna fly over to go visit friends. It'll be a great time.
He's coming to New England, and I'm gonna show him around to a couple of places, like to Salem. Yeah. I'm so excited for Salem.
Salem, I'm really excited for Salem too.
Also,
it should be good.
So, fun fact, because kind of on the tangent. I'm part Japanese, which I'm very, very, very proud of, and I don't shut up about it. I'm so sorry. And so one of my plans is to take Tilly to a store that my grandmother used to shop at, in New Jersey.
Super excited.
I'm so excited because it has like a lot of like good food, and it has like a lot of variety. It has like a bunch of stuff that like I haven't been able to find anywhere. But there's also one in my home state.
If they have jelly straws.
They do. They have so many. It's great.
Jelly straws are the best.
I know. I love jelly straws so much. They're so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then there's.
I don't know why.
And then there's one.
They aren't like an anime. They should be.
And then there's another Japanese store in my home state that I also plan on bringing you because they have jelly-filled donuts, also known as rice balls, and they're so good.
Yes, I want a rice ball that's jelly-filled. That sounds delicious.
Well, no, the joke.
I want to learn how to make
the joke is like
Japanese rice balls.
It's not that difficult, but also the joke was jelly-filled donuts, because back like a really long time ago, Pokemon starts in Japan, and one of the things is Brock is eating a rice ball, and so when they're like switching everything over and like doing the translation, they're like, we can't say rice balls, so we're just gonna say jelly filled donut. But they didn't change the rice ball in the animation, so it was just a rice ball. He's like, I love my jelly filled donuts. So stupid.
Translation weirdness is always weird in anime.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons that I watch exclusively dubbed.
Same. I don't like subs. I don't
like subs.
Wait, no. I watch sub, not dub.
You like subs.
I like subs. My brain just fried on that. No. Yeah, no, I don't do dubs because I don't like English voice actors. I have yet to find one that I actually like.
But I don't want to read a TV show. I want to watch a TV show.
Oh, I do both though, so it's fine.
I don't.
Subs, winky face, thank you, pizza. Greatly appreciate that.
I only do dubs. Dubbed anime is superior.
I'm not getting into a debate on
otherwise.
The thing is, my major thing is that you lose the translation of a lot of the jokes, and so they don't carry over as nicely into English. So that's one of my other major complaints.
Yeah, but they also don't get subbed very well a lot of the time.
Jet said Tilly likes subs because they give him money. Confirmed.
That's just, I like it. Listen, there are a lot of ways I can take that. Most of them
I'll take some money if you want to send it my way and be a sub. Yeah. I got bills to pay.
If you give me money, I'll step on you, Jets. A little sub.
Oh dear God.
Anyways.
Oh dear God. No, thank you.
I shouldn't say that. Jets is in like high school.
Ew, Tilly.
Yeah, I know.
Tilly.
It was a joke. It was a bad joke.
So bad.
Jets had prom.
Oh yeah, I
really
heard that.
excited
Jets,
for
how did
him.
that go? I hope it went well.
How did your prom go, Jets?
How did it go? I'm so excited to hear.
Oh, I know that you were talking about Twitch subs.
I was too.
I am aware. I was not.
One of my best friends just asked, "What's a VOD?" And I'm like, I'm gonna just let Kyle handle that question.
That's a complicated question.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we reconnected. We started talking again. I'm gonna go down there. It's gonna be a great time. We're gonna see the Unabomber sites. I'm gonna read the Unabomber manifesto.
Fucking weird.
It's gonna be fun.
It's fucking weird. I don't know why you want to do that.
I like true crime, okay?
I know, but
and the Unabomber was a really weird, very strange person.
You're gonna get us on a watch list or something.
I'm already on a watch list.
Yeah, but I don't need
I'm on several.
I don't need to be on one. I'm already dealing with enough legal stuff, okay?
I'm sorry your prom was a nightmare, Jets. That sucks.
Jets, I'm so sorry.
Don't
that
worry.
Sucks.
We're not gonna get on a watch list. It's not that big of a deal. Lots of
My
people
attorney's gonna call me up.
manifesto.
My attorney's gonna be calling me up and be like, "What the fuck did you do?" People are starting to ask questions.
Why are you hanging out with these people who like the Unabomber? I don't like the Unabomber. I think he's interesting. I want to stab him, but that's two different conversations.
Tilly has a stabbing kink confirmed.
Shut up.
Oh wait, actually, oh no!
I do not.
That's why you're
Knife play can be fun though. Anyways, now we're getting into things that is probably against Twitch TOS, so we should move on to something else.
Oh fuck, I forgot TOS is a thing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So let's go back to Japanese stuff.
Oh,
because that's something that you're passionate about.
Oh, definitely.
And also I have the funny little story of in Japanese culture.
Oh dear.
There's this thing where gifting a knife is kind of risky because gifting a knife in Japanese culture can be their culture is like full of like interesting little subtextual things, which I don't know how many people are in depth on this, but I thought it was really cool when I was reading about it because it's one of those things where it's like giving a gift in Japan has a lot of significance.
Depending on like
part of that is because and part of the reason why it has so much significance is because it's an obligation rather than a in America you're rarely ever obligated to give somebody a gift, even if it's like their birthday and you don't give them a gift. Generally people aren't going to get mad about that unless they're assholes.
Spark, have fun with homework.
Japan, have fun. I hope it goes well.
I'm sure Tilly will be happy to help you with homework.
I've actually helped Spark with homework a couple of times before.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
I don't know if I can help with this homework though.
Wink, wonk.
Anyways, so giving a gift is an obligation sometimes. And so sometimes giving gifts holds meaning other than just like, oh, I like you, here's a nice thing. And so in Japanese culture, there's this thing, which is giving a knife can sometimes be a subtextual thing to essentially sever a friendship. So it's like, I'm giving you this knife as an example of I don't want to be friends with you anymore. We're now enemies, but I have to do so. I have to explain that to you in a way that we're both going to understand. It is also like respectful because it's a very respect-based culture. And so the gifting of a knife can be a very like dangerous thing. And so when I was reading about this, I was like, I have a really good idea. I have a really good idea because what they used to do is essentially they would attach a piece of money with the knife, and then the point is you give them the knife with the money attached to it, and then when they get the gift, which is the knife plus the money, they give the money back to you, which seems like kind of like a backwards thing, but the point of it is that now instead of the knife being a gift, it's a transaction. And so when I sent Sam the knife, I taped a dime
Yeah.
to the box.
Yeah.
I did tape it to the box. I think I taped it to the box. I was like, I'm not going to tape it to the knife. So I taped it inside the box.
Yeah.
And then she Venmo'd me 10 cents.
Yeah, I cried. I cried.
Because I thought it was a nice way, because the culture of Japan is something that we both have been fascinated with for a while. And it's like, that makes me sound like a weeb, but it's like, I don't want to be Japanese. I just think cultures are fascinating. And
I will give you the
study.
pass of not being a weeb, because at least you're not like Greg. Oh God. Oh God. Greg is my boyfriend's brother. Greg, if you're seeing this, I'm exposing you. He went to travel abroad to Japan and like study abroad. And he's still a massive fucking weeb. Like, he probably doesn't want
weeb.
Both him and Kyle, like, before knowing, well, Greg knew before Kyle, but that's a whole different story that we can get into. But before Kyle knew that I was part Japanese, was like, oh my God, she's a weeb, because I wore a kimono to school, which, okay, sounds really weird without context, but there was like a haiku contest in a creative writing class, and I thought it would be really cute to like wear a kimono and everything, because yeah, well, actually it was a yukata, but point being, I wore it, and Kyle before we even started talking stared at me. He's like, oh my God, she's such a fucking weeb, and his friends had to explain to him that no, it's just part of my culture. Yeah.
Oh my God, she's a weeb. No, she's Japanese. You fucking moron.
Yeah, I get called a weeb a lot, because they're like, oh my God, you do all these weeby things. It's like, no. This is just my heritage and my culture, and it's like I'm other like races too, but like I mainly identify with Japanese because
I'm fucking Scottish.
You're Scottish. You're Scottish. Because I'm Puerto Rican as well. And that's like, that doesn't really like have like as much cultural impact on my life. And then from my mom's side, I'm white. So I'm Irish, Lithuanian, and English, and like that's boring. And also like the only family that's a part of me or like has ever like interacted with me and actually gave a shit is my grandmother and grandfather on my dad's side, so the Japanese grandmother and the Puerto Rican grandfather. That's a really interesting story on how they met. But yeah.
Nice.
So I just
that does make you not a weeb, because you're actually Japanese heritage.
Yeah.
So you have a reason to want to know their culture more than just
oh my God.
liking anime.
The other day, the Japanese store that's like in my like home state, fucking, I was with Kyle, my boyfriend. I gotta, okay, shut up, Sam. So we were there, and some guy approached Kyle and I, because we look like we know what we're doing, because I kind of know what I'm doing, and he's like, oh, like, can you tell me like what things are good here and what's not? He's like, I like the aesthetics of like foreign food and Japanese food, because I see like it all in like TV shows and like fashion shows, and I buy it for the aesthetic. And I'm like, that's so rude and disrespectful. You're literally calling my culture fucking an aesthetic. Ugh.
That's pretty rough. Yeah.
And it's
Jesus.
And he's like, yeah, I want something that's gonna look pretty. And so I'm like, like down the road there's like a World's Market you could go to, not the fucking this store. And I'm like, yeah, it has a bunch of cultures there if you want to just use them for aesthetics, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
God, it boils my blood.
Yeah.
It's like,
so
it's like someone wearing like the wrong, what's the kilt pattern called? Like a Flarigan, I think? No.
Yeah.
Is it called that?
Yeah. I think so. Let me, I haven't.
Ooh, I got something right. Kilt. But it's like someone wearing like your family, like a kilt pattern.
Yeah.
Or like someone,
yes.
It's just.
Yeah, it's somebody it's like somebody wearing a familial kilt pattern, which just want to say, like, if you've ever worn a kilt and you just wore like a plain plaid, green, red, blue, white kilt, you're fine, because that's just like the generic shit that everyone uses. But there are patterns in Scottish heritage that mean things that are familial.
Yeah.
So it's like my family has a familial kilt pattern.
Cult.
Yeah.
Fraudulent slip.
We also have that, but that's different. We have a specific kilt pattern that my brothers and I used to have kilts of, although I don't think we have them anymore. I think we all outgrew them and we haven't gotten new ones, because kilts are actually quite expensive, especially custom ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you also may want to look up, if you do own a kilt, you may want to like see if you can find it and figure out what it means, because it can mean something, and it might not mean what you want it to mean.
I do.
That's the thing too, is that some of those kilt patterns are not good.
I will say, like, I did.
You're like representing the family of murderers.
I did see like TikTok recently that was kind of going over like the family like patterns and stuff, and there are some like universal ones that if you want something that isn't just like black and white, like there's one for Harley Davidson and there's something to do with green and I can't remember. But yeah, there's a bunch of like ones that you can wear without like offending someone. Yeah. Cause like those things are like really sacred. Like the patterns on those things are like handed down from generation to generation. Mm-hmm. And it's just it's very, very rude to like to just stomp on someone's like tradition like that.
Yeah, there are clan kilts, occasion kilts, and then there are just classic tartan kilts, which are just
tartan. That's what it was called.
Generic. Yeah. And so the tartan pattern is how they're dyed, and they can mean different things. And so if you ever see a traditional Scottish wedding, which is very cool, you will see that the dresses and the kilts are of their different clans, and then generally speaking, when the marriage happens, they'll make their own tartan that is generally a mixture of the two.
I think that's
and it's really
so
cool.
Cute and like kind of romantic in a way. It's nice. The only thing
it's one of my favorite things about my heritage and my culture is the tartan patterns. And kilts are fun.
I think
I want to get a kilt again.
The closest thing I have to like a family tartan would be oh god. Yeah, this is more Japanese stuff. I'm sorry. My family actually is descendants of a samurai. So I don't know if it's around anymore, if it exists, but knowing Japan, it probably does. We have like the katana from like my ancestors floating around somewhere. And, like, I really want to, like, see it eventually. Like, my grandmother lost the right to, like, the samurai. Because she was the eldest. But out of 12, jeez. But she lost the right to the sword when she left Japan with my grandfather. Because I think there was a big thing at that time. Because this was, like, in the 50s, 60s, something like that. About the fact that you can't take them out of the country, because I think it's because it's like a historical artifact or whatever. So I want to go because I really want to meet some of my family, and I also want to like I really hope there's a knife, because like something in my heart of hearts like is telling me that, or sword, something in my heart of hearts is telling me there's something in there. I just want to see it. I want to see it so badly. And if anyone's wondering where my grandmother was from, she was from Sendai, which is, I think, a coastal town, if I remember correctly. I mean, I guess they're all coastal, but you know what I mean. It's a little, I believe it's north of Tokyo.
I also must say, I just want to throw this out there before we move on completely from tartans and kilts and the meanings of them. It is very unlikely that you're going to offend anybody Scottish by wearing their family kilt.
Really? Okay.
unless you wear it to a formal Scottish event. So like if you wear a clan kilt, probably nobody's going to give a fuck unless you're like at the event where the clan is meeting specifically to be that clan. And then they'll be like, yo, you're not one of us. Why are you wearing our colors, bro? So yeah.
Also,
generally speaking, though, it is in unless you're going to a formal event, a formal Scottish event, wear whatever tartan makes you happy.
good to know.
Unless you have Scottish heritage, and then wear your own because it means something to you.
Yeah,
which is what my family did.
I really think that tartans are really cool, and I find it really cool that you like have your own.
Yeah. Yeah. Ours is yellow and orange and green.
Ooh, definitely,
it's very cool.
Definitely gonna need you to send me a photo later.
And now you know why why my favorite colors are yellow, orange, and green.
Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Family kilt.
But also you like pink like a weirdo.
I do like pink. Pink is probably one of my favorite colors. Anyways, so Japanese in me is also kind of an interesting thing because a lot of people that I've talked to when they talk about Japanese culture and how I really like it, and I've known about it for a long time, they call me a weeb because now I watch anime. The funniest thing about this whole thing is I knew about Japanese culture and studied Japanese culture and was interested in Japanese culture long before I ever watched anime.
Yeah, but people are gonna like just say like you're just saying that.
Yeah. Because I didn't watch anime until I was an adult.
Pink is a manly
I didn't
color.
watch anime until I was like, it's true, it is. Pink is a wonderful color. I didn't watch anime until I was like 17. I didn't watch anime. But I knew about Japanese culture because I had Japanese exchange students and we had to learn about their culture in the program so that we could help them, like, when they're here, make the cultural... Yeah, we had to learn about their culture because we had to help them make the cultural bridge so that when they did something, we could, like, explain to them why that was weird, or when they did something that's, like, not a big deal. Because, like, so in Japanese culture, I was, like, sipping soup and, like, scooping your, like, holding your plate up to your mouth and scooping your food off with chopsticks. That's a normal thing to do in Japan. Like, that's not rude. In fact, generally speaking, if you are hungry enough to just, like, throw the rules to the side and just, like, bring the bowl up to your mouth and just shovel that stuff in, it's a compliment. In Japanese culture, because it means the food is good. Or if you're slurping your soup, that means the food is good. So it's one of those things where it's like, in the house, it was fine, but then it's like, it's also like, well, when we're in a restaurant, we don't want people to think like, oh, what the hell is going on here? Like this person's not very respectful. And so it's kind of interesting because we had to learn how to communicate those cultural divides and kind of create those cultural bridges. Which is really interesting. So it's like, I learned a lot about Japanese culture and Japanese people and the Japanese nation before I ever was even interested in anime. And then later on in life, I started watching anime and found that I like a lot of anime because I already was embroiled and knowledgeable about the culture. So it's like an inverse thing for me of like, I'm interested in Japanese culture. And my interest in Japanese culture is what makes me interested in anime, whereas most people I know are interested in Japanese culture, at least most people in this area I know, are interested in Japanese culture because they like anime. Very different things, and it's just interesting to me. But yeah.
I do want to say that if you like anime, that's fine, but the line becomes when you don't know anything about the culture and you claim to know about the culture because you watched anime, it pisses me off because you don't know about the culture. Like, you could be watching like something cute and like something like that, I don't know what they're called, like slice of life type of thing, and it might like give you kind of like a glimpse, but it's like it's all dramatized. And also trying to make it your personality, it's not okay. Like, fucking... just going like, oh my god, Daijobu! Like, fuck off. Like, that's not cool. Like, I just... And then you have, like... I think Tilly has heard this rant from me before, but you have people who are like fucking Logan Paul who go to the country are hugely disrespectful and like do like the absolute worst things there. Like, I will say, like, my grandfather was guilty of that because when he was stationed there during the Korean War, he fucking went to a fish market and played with an octopus's legs. My own grandfather. It was so bad. But it's I think it just goes along for every culture. It's like, no matter like the show that you watch, if you don't like do separate research and you don't like take the time to like learn about the little nuances of the culture, you don't know the culture. It's like I don't really know what Scottish stereotypes are necessarily, but like it's like trying to go to Ireland and being like, well, I'm Irish because I drink a lot and I don't know. And I celebrate St. Patrick's Day and all that. Like, you're not Irish and you don't know about the culture because of those couple of things. What's the best way to start learning a culture? So I personally think it's kind of divided. I think a good resource is, in my opinion, is always YouTube. Look for people who live there, and this is gonna sound weird, but don't go for like foreigners who've like immigrated. Always look for like people who like were born in the country and like live there, and like videos of them talking about like the ins and outs, because they're the people that truly know what is acceptable and what's not. Because foreigners are nice and everything, and like they're there, and so they know some of the stuff. They really don't. Like, one of the things is I go to conventions a lot, and that's where I've gotten my like yokatas and everything. I'm very good, thank you. But one of the things I found out upon later research was, so on a kimono, the like belt thing, that's the best way to describe it. Depending on like the size of the belt depends on like the significance of it. And I accidentally bought one that's used for a geisha, and I won't go near it because geishas go through very, very rigorous training to be considered geishas, and wearing it seems disrespectful and rude to all the years and hardships that they go through, because like they can't talk to their families, they can't phone call their families during their training, they can't write to them. I think nowadays they've gotten more lax and will let you like write a letter home once a month or let you call home, but for the most part you're not allowed to contact your family during all of that, and they have to learn like a bunch of special rules and everything, and it's really, really difficult training, and it takes a while. And the fact that like I accidentally bought like one of these obis that was a geisha's, just it feels wrong to have, but it most especially feels wrong to be wearing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. I guess Scotland doesn't really have those kind of cultural stereotypes so much. So I guess we don't deal like the culture doesn't deal with that nearly as much.
Yeah.
And a huge part of that is because, I mean,
Japan's highly fetishized, which really sucks.
Yeah, and Scotland really is not so much, although a lot of Celtic symbols have been very dramatically altered or adopted.
Really?
And that sometimes bothers me, but generally not. Yeah, so like Celtic symbolism has been adopted into a bunch of stuff, including, and this is something interesting, I don't really get bothered by it because it's writing, but I see a weird amount of Scottish cultural imagery in anime sometimes. Of like a lot in their symbolism. So like one of the huge ones is a lot of the symbolism or symbols used in Brotherhood.
Full Metal Alchemist?
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. For the alchemy, a lot of that is like Celtic base.
Really?
So like, yeah, a lot of it is Celtic base, or a lot of it is pagan base. And pagan is very Celtic base.
Oh, I didn't know that one. Because I know I have people that are
because the Celtic cultures were some of the first original Druidic pagan cultures. And so that's part of it, is like their culture, the Celtic culture is so old that it has been embroiled into many, many cultures. So like there's a lot of Celtic iconography in Catholic culture. There's a lot of Celtic iconography in a lot of media because it got embroiled into other cultures very early on. So like, for example, the knot, do you know the Celtic knot?
Yes.
Do you know the meaning of the symbolism of the Celtic knot?
No. Oh, no.
Most people don't. They just see it and they think it looks pretty. Well, the Celtic knot it's the lover's knot.
Yes.
So like the traditional, like where they're all crossed, right? And the origin of it is this oval knot that they would tie, and it's a knot that's designed, and you can tie it yourself, obviously, but it's designed to be tied by two people, and it's part of a Celtic marriage ceremony. Is you tie this knot together, and it ties the clans together. So it's just really interesting because it's very clan focused, but nobody knows its meaning, and then you'll see it, and it's this. I don't know really how to show, other than maybe I can kind of like pull up an image, and I might be able to get it on stream.
I feel like there's something very similar to that in like Ireland, that like people don't understand the meaning.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what it's called, but they have like a ring with the hands. Like I know like it's like to show what if you're like in a relationship or not, but like a lot of people, like even myself, like I don't know what that's for, like the like significance behind it. And it's like, oh, it's a cute ring, but like I don't know anything about that ring. And I'm guilty of buying one or two.
Well, that's okay. And once again, I would say for most of the people involved in the Scottish culture, even today, doesn't really bother us, like, particularly obviously those of us who are like, oh, well, I'm an American, I'm Scotch American. So I like the Scottish culture. I enjoy the elements of Scottish culture, but I'm not like, it's one of those things where it's like, if you appropriate my culture, I'm not going to get mad at you because it's still getting the symbolism out there to me. And I still kind of like that to some degree. And I can understand having a different opinion on that, but it doesn't bother me so much.
I think cultural appropriation is a very, very sticky label, because I don't know how to like say this with like hurting someone in some way, and like if that's the case, I'm really sorry. I'm really not meaning to, but I don't think that people quite understand what culture, the difference between like proper like like what is appropriation and what's not. It's like it's such like a slippery slope, because there obviously is some I hate to say it, I don't quite 100% know what the definition of cultural appropriation is. I just know that it's you're pulling things from someone's culture and like claiming it as your own. And one of the most recent examples that I can think of is some white women from America. And yes, it's white women, and I need to emphasize it to make the point. They decided to make a company. I think they either had a company or they made a company, and they decided to make mahjong tiles, or like the game of mahjong, right. But they changed the symbols and like the tiles right. and like everything about it, and like that's like there's like importance to like those tiles, and I think each tile right. has like a meaning in Chinese culture and everything, yeah. And then you just have like these people who are just coming in and changing it, and I think that's kind of like a form of appropriation, because like there was definitely like no reason to be going and messing right. around with those, like
yeah
there's just no reason.
I can understand that.
But like
anyways, so on stream in the upper right hand corner right now, this is a ring that is the Celtic lover's knot. And so you can see like the loops and the way that it's all looped together. So cute. And the whole point of it is you tie two ropes together to make this knot. Anyways, so that's a side note. But yeah, so I think the main thing about cultural appropriation and where it's right and wrong, I would say, is mostly if what you're doing stomps on what it means, right? Mm-hmm. I would say that's where I would draw the line. Okay. Where it's like, in this instance, if somebody chooses this ring because they're like, wow, that's a really pretty ring, I like it, and they want to wear it, and they don't understand the significance of it, that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me because it's still a pretty ring.
Yeah.
You know, it's still a pretty ring, and it's still cool, and I can understand wanting to do something for the aesthetic, but at the same time, it's like, if somebody took this and tried to make it mean something else,
yeah,
I think that's the difference. Is like trying to make it mean something else is I think where it gets fishy, at least for me personally.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And so, yeah.
I know a lot of people.
And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
I know like a while ago when like there were proms without masks and everything, a lot of people gave a girl a lot of issues about like her prom dress, because it was like she was white and it was like a dress that was like traditionally Chinese, and then people were like, well, you can't do that, that's not your culture, and people in China were like, it's fine, it's not that big of a deal. It's like the point was like, she thought it was a very pretty dress, and like so she decided to wear it. She wasn't like disrespecting it or anything, she wasn't like doing anything to it. It was just, she bought it as a pretty dress, and like, so they said that was okay. So
yeah, and I would say that's I would say that's where I don't have a problem with it, is when it's like, well, somebody's not choosing something because of the cultural significance. Now, I think there are a lot of times where cultural appropriation happens where the purpose of it is to wipe out what it means. And I do think that's a problem, where it's like the whole purpose of the of having it is to of appropriating is to wipe out and destroy what it was before.
I think there are some very I don't really want to say what they are, because I don't know what TOS is, but I think there's some very hateful symbols that we can all think about, that we can come up off the top of our head, that cross that line of like I you know, we don't really see it as cultural appropriation, because a lot of people don't actually know where those symbols like originated, which really is unfortunate. And you have all these cultures and stuff that like feel really uncomfortable with using them because of the bad things that have happened due to these symbols. Or not due to these symbols, but due to the people that held these symbols.
Prom is an excuse to make me feel lonely. Change my mind. Prom? Yeah, you know.
Prom's not great. I'll be honest. I
don't like prom.
I went to 3 of them. I didn't enjoy any of them, to be honest. Coming from like a female's perspective, they're not great, cause like everyone's taking photos, and everyone's like in their cliques and everything, and oh god,
I don't like prom because I found prom to be unbearably uncomfortable at my school. Now, I went to a weird school. I was actually talking about this the other night, about the fact that, first of all, my school, it was colloquially known amongst the students that this is prom. At my school, they didn't call it prom. The administration didn't call it prom.
Oh, no.
It was just the school dance.
The scandal.
Yeah. Well, they didn't want to call it prom because prom has a connotation, and they were terrified of people getting upset over our school having a prom because we're supposed to be righteous. It's nonsense.
Fucking religious.
So they didn't call it prom, but we all called it prom. And lots of people got asked out to prom. My experiences with it were exclusively weird because I either went with my brothers, or when I went alone, I went with a group of people that were like the rebels of the school, which is who I hung out with. And so we didn't participate in prom. Like, I danced, and I know how to dance, and I'm good at dancing.
I don't. I'm
and so I started dancing, and then just like left the dance floor to go hang out with friends. And then we went like outside to another area and we're dancing there. And that was a different kind of dancing.
Tilly.
But
Tilly.
It was funny. It was funny in retrospect, because it's like, this is a school where before we started dancing, they like made an announcement like, everybody, we all know that this is a dance and we all know that emotions are high, but you have to remember to leave room for Jesus.
Oh God! I will say that the thing I find really funny about prom is that the drama that goes on during prom. It's like,
oh my God,
guys are hanging out with girls that aren't their girlfriends, and then you have a social hierarchy, and then you have people that break up on prom nights. It's hilarious.
Hey, I'm well within TOS.
He's in TOS. He wasn't like
TOS.
me, who doesn't understand TOS.
I'm well within TOS there. My stream's not gonna get shut down for me saying that we danced away from the adults.
It will.
But yeah, it was funny. It was funny. It was a fun time.
I just don't like proms. I'm like,
yeah.
Picking out a dress was the worst, because like you wanted things.
Yeah, I can't imagine that.
You want things that like make you like look nice and that you're comfortable in, but you also want things that like accentuate parts, you know? Like, but at the same time, I would have been happier to go in like a hoodie and like some sweatpants. I mean, there was a girl in my school that went like that, and I'm like, yes, that seems so fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know. I personally spent a lot of time picking out a suit for all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't think many guys do, but I think they could.
I mean, yeah.
I think they should.
It seems like something that would be
learn
like good.
To get a suit tailored. And if you are a man, get a fucking nice suit. It will change the way you view yourself.
It
and
also
you will want
changes
to
how
wear it
people look at
every
you.
day. It's true. You will want to wear it every single day. If you have a really nice, well-tailored suit, you will want to wear it every day. I have one. I do want to wear it every day. I don't, because my job sometimes destroys clothes. I don't want to destroy my nice suit.
You had to get one because you're short.
Everybody. This is what I'll say. I have to get a tailored suit because I'm short. It doesn't matter what size you are. Get your suit tailored. A well-tailored suit looks different than an off-the-shelf one. It will look better. It will undoubtedly look better. That's why tailors exist for just normal dudes.
Yeah. Also,
normal guys always, like rich people get their suits tailored for a reason. Just gonna say.
Highly recommend finding like the if you're gonna get a suit tailored. if where you buy it doesn't offer it, go to like your local mom and pop shop with like the little old ladies. They charge like fair prices and they do such a good job.
Yeah.
And they're so nice and so sweet.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. I got my suit tailored by a family friend as well, and it was really good.
Look at me, I'm feeling.
And it looks good. I do. I have connections for getting suits tailored and about nothing else.
That's not true. It's not nothing else.
That's true. I have some connections. We can't talk about those here, though. That might be against TOS.
That might be against TOS, and you will get into very big trouble, mister.
It's true.
Not with me.
That's true. Not with you. With the federal government.
Yeah. Do we want to... Nope.
Do you think that getting a suit for prom was more trouble than it was worth? You think that it was? I think for prom, when you're a high schooler and you're probably going to grow out of it in 2 years, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that when you're done growing, when you're like 23, 24.
Or Tilly.
And you have a little bit of money in your pocket, get a nice suit, get it tailored, use it for job interviews.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about job interviews.
And for business meetings. Job interviews and business meetings. If you're meeting a high profile client at your job and you wear a fucking really nice suit, you're going to get the sale.
You see, I don't have that problem.
You just will.
I work at a fabric store, so I get to wear hoodies and jeans and shorts, and it's fantastic.
You get to wear comfy stuff.
I get to wear comfy
I get to wear a hoodie at my job most of the time.
Most of the time.
I wear a hoodie underneath.
But do you get to do
I wear a hoodie underneath my jacket. No.
Yeah, street clothes.
Normalize street clothes.
Also, I want to say normalize, like fashion colors. So like, the normal way of saying it is like the fun colors in hair, because there was a sound on TikTok that went around a while ago. It's like, just because I have colored hair doesn't mean like I'm unprofessional, which I think is really, really like. I think that's very true, because no matter your hair color, you can be very professional, or if you just have like a neutral hair color, like a natural hair color, you could be very unprofessional. Like, I don't think how someone looks aesthetically
I agree.
affects how professional they are or not.
I agree. Also, normalize tattoos.
Oh, I agree. I mean, they're like, there's some, I keep going back to Japan, but there's like a lot of cultures where like having tattoos are bad. Like in Japan, like you don't want to have any because they highly they look at it as a bad thing because of the Yakuza, because Yakuza always had tattoos. So like there's some onsens that you can't even go to if you have a tattoo. You can like try and cover it with like a band-aid or something, but you know, they're like Tilly, speaking of tattoos.
Yes.
Would you ever get one? And where? And
yes. I have them planned.
What?
This is actually kind of personal, but it's okay. I think I've talked a little bit about it on podcast before.
Oh, you don't have to talk about
what I've been through.
Like
but
personal.
No, it's fine. I'm totally cool with talking about it. It doesn't bother me. Okay. So do you know what the semicolon tattoo stands for?
Yeah, I was planning on getting one myself. You should get one. We should get one when you come. I'm gonna get a semicolon on my right wrist, an ampersand on my left wrist, and then on my left shoulder blade, I'm going to get and he chose to continue with an ellipsis, because those are all symbols of continuing on, and then that's going to be a specific phrase in the novel that I'm writing is, and he chose to continue, and it's going to come at a very pivotal point. It's going to be important. I am not getting a tramp stamp. Oh, but Tilly,
absolutely
come on.
not.
Tilly, you know what?
No.
You should get a tramp stamp, and it should be like The Lady and the Tramp. That would be peak comedy. Like, I could see you doing it.
You know what? The only thing that I would get, and this is going to be a reference that nobody here is going to understand, but I'm going to find it funny, so I'm going to say it. I would get the Pit of Hell as my tramp stamp. Which is a reference to a webcomic that nobody here has read the whole thing of, except maybe, I don't know, maybe Goro has, actually. Goro, have you read Questionable Content?
What's so questionable about it, Tilly?
Everything.
Oh, dear.
But it's a great webcomic and you should read it.
Where do you find it?
Questionablecontent.com.
I should have figured.
There's nothing questionable about it, actually. There's absolutely zero, like, weird content in there. Nothing NSFW in the comic itself. It's very good. But yes.
Yeah.
One of the main characters, she was planning on having a full back tattoo of, I think, like, Satan and the angel Gabriel fighting over the pit of hell. And so she has, like, on her lower back just the pit of hell, but then she never got the tattoo fixed or completed. And so now it's just a pit of hell in the middle of her back. Yeah, sorry. I didn't realize that the chat was broken. That's my bad. So now it should be fixed. Also, I wonder if I can get it to stay, but
Can I give an answer?
Tattoos for you.
For me?
What tattoos would you?
I've actually thought about this quite a bit. So one of the ones is like the semicolon, because I don't feel like I legally can't talk about it in the podcast right now because I have some stuff going on, but I've had some things happen in the past that were very difficult. So that's one of the reasons I want to get like a semicolon. I also want on like my left shoulder blade, I want to get 3 birds. One for my dad and 2 for my grandparents. They're no longer with me. It's fine. Everyone, it's fine. I make really bad dead dad jokes all the time. It's a glorious time.
It's funny. Don't worry about it.
I don't know. Our friends don't seem to think so sometimes. But yeah, I want to get one for like a bird for each of them. Because, I don't know, they're people that are very important in my life. And those are about it.
Yeah.
We should totally get a tattoo while you're like here.
I'm on board. I'm on board with getting the semicolon tattoo while I'm there.
Yeah, it's not a matching tattoo. It's just tattoos that we both decided separately that we wanted.
Yeah, it's not matching. Anyways, so for people who don't know what that means, since I do know some people who might not know what the semicolon tattoo stands for, do you mind if I kind of explain that?
Yeah, if you want to explain, I'll probably do a better job than me.
So I can explain what it means. So in literary, or technically in the English language, the semicolon is a piece of punctuation that is used when a writer is done with a thought but doesn't want to complete the sentence with a period and end it. And so they put a semicolon to continue the sentence onto a new idea. And so basically the meaning of the semicolon is this idea that it's almost the end, but not yet. And it's the choice to continue that matters. Yeah. And so it's this idea of the semicolon is a symbol of choosing to not end, choosing to continue on. And I always thought that was beautiful. And then when I heard about people getting semicolon tattoos because they've struggled with being suicidal or struggled with depression, I always thought was meaningful. And ever since I heard of that, I was like, that's something that is very important to me and very personal to me. And I would be okay with having that indelibly on my skin, having a semicolon indelibly on my skin to represent the struggle that I've been through and the struggle that I have chosen to continue on with. For me, the ampersand is very similar. So the ampersand is a piece of punctuation. It's the and symbol. It's the little funky symbol that's shift 7.
Yes.
And so it means and. It means it's about connecting two things together. Yeah. Right. And so I like the ampersand because my life is about connection. And the more that I've gotten older and the more that I've grown up, the more I've realized that a huge part of what I enjoy in life and what keeps me moving is the connections that I've formed with people. And the fact that I can do so and form these deep connections with a lot of different people. And I feel like I struggled with that for a really long time. And now I don't struggle with that anymore. I don't struggle with making those connections anymore. It's in fact quite not, I won't say easy, but it's something that I can do now.
Yeah.
I can make strong, deep connections with people. And so it's a symbol of that struggle that I've been through, of that struggle of lack of being able to find and form meaningful connections with people into being able to form meaningful connections with people. And then the "and he chose to continue" seems pretty cut and dry, right? It just is a sentence where somebody was about to give up, but they chose not to. They chose to not give up. They chose to get up again when the world had beat them down and stand up when everything seemed to be against them and when nothing was in their favor. And that's going to be kind of like an important moment in the novel that I'm writing, where the main character goes through that, has a moment where he essentially gets the shit kicked out of him, loses everything, has no idea what he's doing, has no idea where to start, has lost everything that matters to him. And he makes the choice where he's like, all right, but it's not over yet. I'm not done fighting. And I liked that idea. And so I'm going to have that sentence indelibly written on me as well, because it's meaningful to me as well as it's part of the first novel that I've been writing for the past about year and will continue writing for probably the next year or two.
I do want to say...
So those are the explanations of why I like it.
I do want to say we have hit some really heavy topics and...
yes.
That being said, Tilly, can you tell Michael no? Sorry, I don't want him joining in.
Oh, yeah.
So if you are struggling, like, mentally with, like, and the weight of the world seems, like, too heavy for you to bear, please bear on for just a little bit longer. You are important. There are resources.
Yes.
If nothing else, Tilly and I care about you. So
yes,
please, like, just hold on and, like, find those resources because you are important.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's very important to say.
Yeah. Also, can you pre-order my novel?
I wish.
Not yet.
I wish.
Don't worry. I guarantee you I'll still be doing the podcast. I will still be doing... You'll probably get a pre-release copy, to be quite honest.
I'm special.
So I will still be doing the podcast when I am done with the novel, for sure. And when I am done with the novel, I will be attempting to publish it through a publisher, in which case I myself will probably purchase quite a few copies to send to people for free. And when I do that, if I do go through a publisher, I will let everybody know. If I can't get it published by an actual publisher, I will probably do self-publishing on Amazon, in which case I will absolutely have pre-orders open and see how many orders I can get.
I will say
that...
Oops, sorry. I'm so bad at this. Mm-hmm. I will say that is another thing that Tilly and I do share is, like, a love and a joy of writing, which is, like, really fun. My writing is at times. But, yeah. We share a lot of, like, common, like, things.
We do.
It's kind of a problem at times.
We do.
But at the same time, it's good because we can, like, we do really well with, like, talking to each other and being able to, like, understand where we're coming from. Also, Greg said he was tuning in, so I just want to say hi, Greg.
Hi, Greg.
Whoops. Totally hope he missed, like, some of the Greg slander that happened earlier.
It's fine. Greg, you've been outed as a weeb. I'm sorry.
No, don't tell him.
I will.
No. Fuck.
It's okay. Listen, he can bring it up with me if he wants to.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah. It kind of But back to the like point of us being like really, really similar. It's a problem. It's like because we have like very, very similar minds.
Yeah, it is. We have very similar experiences and very similar lives, ironically enough, even though we're separated by thousands of miles, basically, at least hundreds of miles. And it's very interesting. I'm
assuming that's Greg. Hi, Greg.
No, you don't. You can't touch me.
No, he's. I think he's talking about me. In which case, Tilly, I may need to borrow your services to help save me.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. Hi, Greg. Anyways, yeah. So we're very similar people, and when we started talking to each other, it very quickly became fascinating to me that it was like, oh, this is somebody who understands what I've been through on a personal level. And we never really, it was funny. I don't think we really talked about it.
We did.
I think we were both just like,
we did have like a really, like when last year when we first started talking again, we had we had that really big, I think it was like a 6-hour like call where we just trauma dumped.
Yeah, we just sat there and was like, we were like, I know, like both of us had like dropped hints, right?
Yeah.
Had dropped little nuggets of
trauma nuggets.
Story. Yeah, trauma nuggets of the trauma stories to each other over the years, but neither of us had really like gone into it in depth of been like, this is what I've been through. Here it is on a silver platter. So
yeah.
It was funny to me. And I have a lot of people like that where it's like, I've realized like I kind of didn't assume that they knew, but I didn't really, because I didn't really talk about it for a really long time. Like I didn't talk about stuff that I'd been through for a really long time. The trauma trail. The trauma train. And so it's interesting to me to like, because I've been opening up a lot more about it because I've been doing better and
I'm very proud of
feeling
you about
better.
that, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes.
And so I've been more open about it with the people that I'm close to. And it's funny to kind of like have these moments of like people who have known me when I've been through these experiences, but didn't quite know what was going on, like telling the story and then them being like, that makes sense. Like now I understand like why you were the way you were and all these different things. I don't know. It's kind of, it's very relieving to know that like I can talk about it with a lot of these people and they're just gonna like
understand.
Be cool about it and understanding. Because for the longest time, I was afraid of being judged, and
really
now
sucks.
I'm not as afraid. And so,
really
not that I'm ever going to talk about it on podcast or on stream, because most of it probably wouldn't be allowed here.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's an interesting thing to go through that transition from terrified to like, oh, I can just have conversations about this with people and they won't look at me like I'm crazy and they won't look at me like I'm broken, because that was my experience with a lot of the people that I told originally is like, wow, that's really messed up. And like, you're broken now. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be. And so it's just, it's very interesting.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons
it's very interesting.
I didn't open up about a lot of stuff, because of the same mentality of like, not wanting to be looked upon like I was broken, because like that's like very soul crushing, like for anyone who's never had like that experience and like doesn't like hasn't like ever dealt with that, being looked upon like you are broken and being treated like you are a broken person breaks you more than you already are. And it's soul crushing. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. It really sucks.
Yeah, for sure. It's really painful, and it makes everything worse, because it's like, okay, I'm already in pain, and then that added on top of it, of like people not understanding that, makes it way harder to deal with it. But anyways, that's I feel like we've delved deep enough into the emotionally heavy for one episode.
Okay, yeah, let's move on to like a fun topic. Like I kind of wanted to talk about like what's going on with Twitter a little bit.
Yeah, which is going to be an interesting conversation to have,
especially with someone who doesn't know very much about it.
Yeah, I think we'll probably have similar opinions.
Yeah, so...
But I don't know.
For those of you who do not know what's going on, and if you don't know, whatever. Elon Musk has bought Twitter.
Yeah.
And some people have conflicting views on it. Some people are like, oh yeah, like this is a good thing, like Twitter's gonna be better. And some people are like, this is the end of Twitter, escape from Twitter. Like, it's so bad. And like, then you have people like me who's just like, well, Twitter's not gonna really change very much, in my opinion.
Yeah.
People are saying like Elon Musk is like a really bad dude. And he's done some really bad things. I don't really know about any of that, but like as someone who doesn't know about any of like the stuff that he's pulled, I don't understand what the problem of him buying Twitter is. I really don't. It's just changing from one rich person to another. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, and like you have the people that are like, well, he should have used that for like humanitarian use and whatever. It's like, it's his money. Like, you don't get a say in how someone spends their money, no matter if they have $1 or $1 billion. Like, that's not. Yeah. His money isn't for you to like spend.
Yeah. I also think that people put too much value on who is the head of a company that's already established.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
When really, this is going to affect Twitter's stock more than it's going to affect Twitter's policies.
It's not going to even affect their stock because at this point, well, it kind of is because they're just going private.
Yeah, they're going private, but eventually they'll be public again. They're going private because this type of decision is going to make the stock dump. It's going to lose value. And so they're going to go private, which is why there's that price tag on it, because essentially he's buying all of the stock in the company that's free trade right now, as well as buying out all of the owning members.
Yeah, he's also buying it like above market value.
Yeah, he is technically buying it above market value. And it must be said, once again, I don't think it's going to change their policies very much, other than like, and the thing is you have to remember that Elon Musk, he is a media personnel now. So just like all of the other people in his position, he's going to lie, or at least not lie. He's going to tell you what he wants to do. But the problem is that even if he is the CEO and full owner of Twitter, it's not like, oh, he is a god and his word goes. He still has to make the people who work at Twitter happy.
And there's also like a board of people he has to like go through.
He still will be beholden to a board of directors. And so it's not like he's going to be the de facto whatever he says goes guy. He has power, but he can't just completely change the way the company works. So I think we might see less content moderation, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think that really is something that is up to, I don't have a strong opinion on other than I think it's up to whoever houses the social media platform.
Yeah.
I think that Twitter's content moderation policy is their business. Facebook's content moderation policy is their business. Twitch's content moderation policy is their business. So the reality is that they are allowed to choose what content they allow and don't allow. And if you think that allowing more different types of content on Twitter or less of certain types of content on Twitter is going to destroy the platform, I think you're wrong. It's not going to destroy the platform because the people who get moderated are just going to find other platforms, just like the people who have been moderated off of Twitter for many, many years. And then the people who don't get moderated off of Twitter are going to stay on Twitter. And I don't think that very many of them are going to get moderated off of Twitter. I think the vast majority of the people who are currently posting on Twitter about a specific style of content are going to continue to be able to post about that content. Yeah. In fact, I think that, once again, I think that if anything, we're going to see less content moderation rather than more, which might create some problems, but also, as a social media platform, they are liable for certain types of content that they allow on their platform. So they do have to do some content moderation, or at the very least, they have to get involved if their lack of content moderation starts creating problems. So I really don't think it's going to change Twitter all that much. I think that Twitter is going to stay the same. And the reason why, one of the huge reasons why I think that Twitter is going to stay the same is because Twitter is still in the same boat of the way that it ships its content to people is going to be algorithmic. And the way the algorithm is going to work is going to make the things that get views popular. And the things that are popular, the things that are getting views, are going to stay the same because it's going to be the same people using Twitter. So the irony is that the people who are bailing out of Twitter, if that's really their problem with Twitter, is like, I'm leaving Twitter because the content is going to change and it's going to allow these things that I don't agree with on it, then it is going to change. But it's not going to change because Elon Musk is in charge. It's going to change because you're not giving your view to your side of things anymore. And then it becomes an echo box. So my word of advice to people who want Twitter to stay the same is don't let Twitter change. You can do it. Just keep viewing the same things that you've been viewing on Twitter all this time. And Twitter won't change because Twitter is still going to try to get popular content or content that gets views to people who view that content. That's their whole marketing thing. They are a marketing platform that markets off of that content. So their only way that they can make money is by getting people to view their pages. The only way that they can get people to view their pages is by shipping content that people want to see directly to them. So that's their whole thing. And if they break that, it's just going to fail as a company. It's not going to create any like massive social problems. So I know how the algorithms work. And those algorithms that I know how they work, well, they're not going to change because those are algorithms that have been in place for literally the entire time that Twitter has existed, and they're going to stay the same, or at least the tweaks that are going to be made are only going to be made to get people the content they want to see. So
I want to make a controversial.
What are you doing?
I'm doing the same thing that people do with their hands when people like are talking, except you can't see my hands, so I was doing it with my mouth.
Yes. I'm also moving my hands around, but you can't see either because I'm a VTuber.
No, I'm talking about like the little hand talky thing. Oh. My controversial opinion about Twitter. Yes, Twitter.
Yes.
Is that
what's your controversial Twitter opinion?
Is that Twitter is basically like Tumblr. It's basically Tumblr. Like, everything that was going on with Tumblr moved over to Twitter the second that Verizon bought it and, like, changed the entire thing around. And you can't convince me otherwise. It's like, it has the same toxicity as Tumblr did. It has the same problems that Tumblr did, like, save for, like, a couple. It's like... It's honestly...
Twitter hot take, Twitter is Tumblr. Twitter is Tumblr 2.0.
It's just Tumblr with less characters.
Yeah. It is. It's Tumblr with less characters, which is why, honestly, I do have a Twitter account.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't go on it very often. I really exclusively follow funny people. And the reason why is because I'm going to be honest. Whatever it is, what is it? 180 characters?
Is not enough. Now 280 because they went from
240 to 280 characters doesn't matter. 280 characters. Not enough to make any words of substance. You cannot say anything of value that is heavy in 280 characters. It just cannot be done.
I do kind of want to take a moment to make fun of my mom. I haven't told Tilly this. Wait, maybe I did. I can't remember. I might have posted it in the group chat. My mom got fucking Twitter one night when I was asleep and wasn't there to convince her not to get it. So, my mom is now on Twitter. And I'm terrified that she's gonna fucking piss someone off because she doesn't understand the landscape of it whatsoever. And,
No.
I'm gonna have someone knock on my door because she pisses someone off. It's not great.
Probably not.
Also,
I sure hope not.
Also, my how do I do this without offending? My mom is very, very, very conservative, and so she decided to go to Twitter as a quote unquote way of finding people who she can talk to about politics, because she can't say anything on like Facebook because I don't fucking know why. But and then when after she told me she got a Twitter, you want to know what the fucking first thing she asked me was?
What?
When I post on Twitter, who do people see my name or my username? And it's like, Mom, it's both. And she's like, oh. It's like, oh no. I check what she posts daily. She hasn't posted anything since, so hopefully it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hopefully not. We'll see.
She just commented on like a Fox News anchor's question, like, you might show up, and it's like, oh,
yeah,
lovely. Oh.
Yeah, I definitely will agree with the take that Twitter is just Tumblr 2.0.
Yeah,
it's Tumblr with fewer characters.
It is.
It even has the same problems of most of Twitter can be classified as at least partially pornography. So, yeah.
Can it? I don't know. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Like, for the people in the audience who don't know, I don't deal with porn at all. I've never seen like a frame of it. I haven't looked at it. I don't go near it. It just so. I mean, I guess it makes sense that there would be a lot of porn on Twitter, but I wouldn't know because I don't get it. Like, also, I would have thought that would have broke, like, TOS there. Like...
No, I don't think so.
Because, like, nudity? No? Do they not have something against nudity or something?
For Twitter? No.
No. Really?
As long as your account is marked 18+, they have pretty much zero content moderation for that.
That's strange.
Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah. Well, it's just like Discord.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Instagram is like, no women titty, but man titty, okay. Yeah, no,
man titty, okay.
Listen, those men have...
Man titties are never okay.
No, according to Instagram, they are okay and are content friendly and can be posted.
I know. But Instagram is run by Facebook, and Facebook is run by lizards, so...
Yeah, that's true. Gordo, I do not tell my mom my online handle. She does not know, and I do not want her to know.
Yeah. My family doesn't know about my online persona either.
Yeah, no.
They do know that I have a podcast, but they don't watch it.
I was telling my mom that I would be busy while we were doing the podcast, and she's like, "Oh, would it help if I tuned in?" I said, "No, you stay far away." She's like, "Oh, well, where is it?" I said, "It's gonna be on Twitch." She's like, "Can I have a username?" I said, "No. I'm not encouraging that."
Yeah, at least I'm pretty sure they don't. I know they don't tune in live because right now they're at a wedding. But I'm pretty sure that they don't watch afterwards either. And if they do, you know what? They'll learn some things, and I'm okay with that at this point in my life. Yeah. I'm about to move out, or at least I'm attempting to do so. I won't have to worry about that very much.
You need to move in with me and Kyle when we move in together.
I need to get a job there then, and that will be interesting.
Do it. You do that, and I'll move out.
I'll try.
And yes. It will be the best. The issue is we're gonna have to have kitchen shifts.
Yeah.
Because the both of us are gonna
And-
sit and bitch about who's cooking.
Yeah, and wherever you move to had better have a basement. I'll just live in the basement.
Why?
Why? I like basements.
Okay.
Don't even at me. I'm a fan of them. I have zero problems with the problems that everyone has with basements.
Tilly, I live in my basement. No, Kyle's not cooking. Kyle can't cook for shit, and he knows that. It's gonna be the battle between me and Tilly. That's where the issue's gonna come in. Kyle's just gonna be happy and eat food.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, and also Tilly, you know
Kyle is gonna be living in a life of 5-star meals, and it's gonna be heaven for him.
Well, I don't know about 5-star on my end. Mine are like 3-star at most. No, not even. I wouldn't give myself a Michelin star. I really wouldn't.
I would give you 3 stars.
You haven't even had my cooking before, sir.
I know. I've seen it though. You can tell from aesthetics.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. The curry that you made the other night was definitely at least 3-star.
Did you see that?
I could just tell by looking at it.
Did I send a photo of that?
Yeah, you had it. Yeah, no.
I was eating it on stream. I was eating it.
Yeah, you were eating it while on cam.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it. It was good.
Greg also enjoys cooking. And he.
Yeah.
I haven't had any of his food, but I've heard he cooks decently.
Yeah. How many stars would you give yourself? How many Michelin stars would you give yourself, Greg? 3, 4, 2, 1?
Knowing Greg
5?
is probably gonna say like 5, like 4 or 5.
I'm 5. I know I'm 5. I can make a steak so good that, yeah.
Fucking wanna bet? Okay, I'm not the biggest fan of steak.
I will bet.
I will fucking give you
2 on a good day.
I will give you a
Nice.
couple. I'll give you a couple of steaks, and you can prove your steak worth.
Yeah. No, Jets, I don't think you can fight me.
Well, I think it depends, honestly. Depends on how tall you are.
I don't think he'll win.
Because depending on how tall you are, you can just stick your arm out and hold Tilly back like a
Height doesn't matter. That doesn't work on me.
I don't know. You're pretty short.
I'll just break his arm. Yeah, listen. I cooked a steak so good that my vegetarian cousin tried it from the smell of it and is not a vegetarian anymore.
Yeah, no,
I accidentally broke somebody's
You broke a vegan.
belief.
See,
I accidentally broke a vegetarian.
Vegans are so fucking easy to break. Like, honestly. They're also just rude.
Yeah. She's not a vegan. She was chill. She was a vegetarian. Technically, I think she was a pescatarian. She was kind of already on the edge, right? Yeah. She like ate fish and shit like that.
I love fish.
But yeah, like my steak made a pescatarian eat beef and keep eating beef, but like only good beef. But yeah,
I know we're supposed to only be keeping this for 2 hours, but I do want to continue because this is really fun. That being said,
yeah, let's keep going.
I do think we should take like a 5-minute break at one point.
Well, we're only at like we're at like 47 minutes. We might take a 5-minute break. But Cthulhu Tilly. Hey, listen. Actually, I have a Discord server that I should probably
send me it because I'm not in it.
Yeah, well, nobody's in it. I'm the only one who's in it right now because it's not really finished being fully set up. But
I want to be the first person in. Let me in.
Okay.
Insert meme of
right.
Let me in.
I'll send you an invite. There you go. You have received the first invite.
Yes. I'm special. I'm the best.
But why? Because I've invited no one. That's why.
Okay. Please give me context of who this Gorgo is.
Goro is another person who, ironically enough, Goro and I met on Tapastic.
Oh,
Hey.
Hello, friend.
Goro is somebody who follows another amazing webcomic, which I know I've talked about on podcast and stream before. Goro is a follower of actually, well, technically two webcomic authors that are amazing. One of which is Deus Jet, who has The Next Reaper, which is an amazing webcomic on Webtoons and Tapastic. Go check them out. Really phenomenal. And then also Goro is another member of the Mafia. We follow this guy called Mafi, who is another wonderful webcomic author. He has Descending from Space, which is one of my go-to happy webcomics when I'm sad and it makes me happy. As well as Fuck, F-U-K, which is another really funny webcomic. Highly recommended. They're great. Yeah, there's another guy named Jet. It's not you. It's Deus Jet. So, yeah. But yeah, so he is somebody that I met on Tapastic. And then I don't think he was in any of the servers that you were in, Sam, because I was in a ton of different webcomic servers.
I wasn't in any,
but I think Coco that Goro and I don't know, did we start talking in Apocalypse or in Mafi's? I can't remember. I don't know where I got to know Goro, other than we definitely ran in the same circles for quite a while. And like, I know for a fact that we had conversations in comment sections on Tapastic. I know for a fact that we did, but I think it was either on The Next Reaper or probably on Descending from Space, because that's what Mafi would have been writing at the time. And so I think that we were we started having conversations there, and then he and I had quite a few conversations over Discord server in the Apocalypse, which is the Discord server for The Next Reaper, which is written by Deus Jet and Soma, who are amazing webcomic creators, really incredible artists, and really interesting writing. So highly recommended. And Mafi is just super funny, also super good artist, but Mafi is super freaking funny. So yeah, that's how I met Goro. Did we meet in the Apocalypse? Okay. I think that is where we mostly started having conversations. But you and I have both been Patreons of
I'm too poor for that.
Mafi for quite a while, I think. I don't know how long you have. I know that I have been a patron of Mafi for like 5 years now. So, yeah, pretty much a hot minute, as we would say. Okay. So he and I met in the Apocalypse, met through The Next Reaper, which is, once again, really good webcomic.
Neat.
But yeah. Where can we find you?
You can find me currently not really much of anywhere. You can find me in both Tilly and Hayek. I'm so sorry.
Hallik.
I'm so bad at names. It's gonna
think about it as you're laughing and then licking something.
Okay, Hallik. Okay, so I'm in both Tilly and Hallik's Discords, so you can find me there. You can chat with me and everything. I'm more than happy to respond to you there. I will be streaming at twitch.tv/Indextore if you want to catch me there. I have a couple of accounts on Instagram. I have an Indextore which will hopefully be like for like my streaming stuff. I have an Indextore cosplay if you want to check out cosplay once I start back up on that. Trying to think about where else you can find me. I think that's about it.
Cool. Go follow everybody who's here.
Yeah.
Be a viewer. I'll try to be there when I can.
Yay, I appreciate that.
Hallik, by the way, I made you mod. I made you mod as well, Index. Actually, you've been a mod. You were a mod in my server before.
Yeah, I know.
Ironically enough. But yeah, all right. Well, I think we're gonna call it here. But
Tilly, where can find you?
Right. So you can find me here at twitch.tv/Cthulhu Tilly. I have a Discord server. I'll post my Discord server in the chat again, as well as I'll have links to my Discord server below the podcast, as well as to Hallik's Discord server. You can find me there as well. You can find this podcast. It's streamed here every other Saturday, going to start with guests. If Hallik wants to join on those, sometimes he can, whenever he has the time to do so. He doesn't, and Hallik, if you don't want to stay for the full thing and you want to leave halfway through or whatever, that's fine. Just come in and say hi, type thing. And then you can also find it every other Saturday on Hallik's Twitch, when I am co-hosting with Hallik. And you can also find us on YouTube, as well as everywhere podcasts are found, at Chatting in the Void. And this week, I'm going to try to make a Chatting in the Void Instagram, a Chatting in the Void TikTok, and a Chatting in the Void Twitter. And I'm going to try to be at least moderately active, probably not super active, but moderately active on those, posting once a week or so.
I totally forgot I had Twitter.
You can find, you have Twitter. Make sure it's not your real name on your Twitter before you give it out to people.
Well, yeah, it's the Indextore.
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I hope to see all of you next time, and hopefully we'll have some more interesting guests.
More interesting.
Probably not in 2 weeks. Sorry, I didn't mean more interesting. I meant more guests that are also interesting. I want to make that clear.
Sure.
But yeah, I have a couple of other guests who want to join, and I'll probably be doing one-on-one stuff like this with them as well. And as I go, I will probably be trying to improve my own overlay, because it's pretty rudimentary right now. Add some fun stuff there too. So yeah, thank you all for joining, and thank you for tuning in, and have a wonderful night.
Bye,
Hope to catch you next
friends.
time in the Void.
We will catch you later.
We appreciate you listening to Chatting in the Void with Cthulhu Tilly and Hallik. You can find a video version of our podcast on YouTube, and our audio podcast anywhere where podcasts are found. Go give Hallik a follow at twitch.tv/Hallik25 and catch our podcast live at 7 p.m. EST most Saturdays. Have a wonderful day, or night, or whatever. Thank you for joining us in the Void. Hope to see you next time.